The Indian Army is on alert and on standby after political turmoil exploded in neighbouring Bangladesh. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar had been reported as saying in the parliament, quote, "Work is underway to ensure safety and security of our country," unquote. After being given just 45 minutes by the Bangladesh Army to exit the government, the longest-serving Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, fled the conflict-torn country and landed at the Hindon Air Base near the Indian capital Delhi on the 5th of August. Jaishankar revealed, quote, "At a very short notice, Sheikh Hasina requested approval to come for the moment to India. We simultaneously received requests for flight clearance from authorities in Bangladesh," unquote. Hasina resigned due to massive student protests which wreaked havoc in the country, which resulted in the death of nearly 100 people last Sunday alone. Nearly 150 had been killed during the unrest last month. India had been closely monitoring the situation unravel in its neighbouring country, EM revealed in the parliament, quote, "On the 4th of August, attack on police, including police stations and government installations, intensified even as overall level of violence increased. Properties of individuals associated with the regime and minorities were targeted. On the 5th of August, demonstrators converged on Dhaka despite curfew. Our understanding is that Sheikh Hasina apparently made the decision to resign following a meeting with security officials," unquote. Now in Dhaka, protesters managed to overcome the will of the security forces and then stormed the Prime Minister's residence, where they looted and vandalized the area along with the parliament building in the capital as well. According to reports, the Bangladesh Army gave Prime Minister Hasina just 45 minutes to resign and flee the country and announced that an interim government will take office soon. Now, as Bangladesh plunges into political turmoil and violence, we are also witnessing an increase in attacks on Hindu minorities, and it remains to be seen what the future holds for a country that had been a promising economy in South Asia. But one thing is for certain, India has lost a friend and a friendly head of state in the neighborhood. Sheikh Hasina had been India's friend and had till recently decided to award two key projects to India over China. These include the Teesta River and the Mongla Port project. Now Bangladesh joins the likes of India's eternal rival Pakistan, 21st century rival China, which has been salami slicing at the LAC, communist-led Nepal, which too has differences with India over the border. Sri Lanka has just emerged from an economic crisis. Myanmar is in the midst of an ongoing civil war, while the new Maldives government too has been influenced by China. For all the negative headlines in global media and anti-India agenda on social media, Bharat remains a beacon of hope in South Asia. 1 billion plus Indians elect their government every 4 years in the world's largest democracy, while India continues to remain the fastest growing large economy in the world and will be the world's third largest economy by 2028. But the Bangladesh situation poses a fresh headache for New Delhi, which might lead to a geopolitical tectonic shift in South Asia. Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar said after an all-party meeting, he claimed that several political players could be involved in the conspiracy to topple the Sheikh Hasina government in Bangladesh. Now, while Prime Minister Hasina fled Bangladesh, statues of her father and Bangladesh's first Prime Minister, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, were defaced back home. It all started with a student protest against a controversial job quota. Bangladesh High Court, in fact, decided to restore a 30% reservation for descendants of freedom fighters of the 1971 Liberation War. However, in a country where unemployment figures are touching 32 million, this was not accepted by the students who stormed the streets in protest. Quota was seen as a diplomatic move by Prime Minister Hasina to favour her own party and its workers. Soon it turned to be a wider political conflict akin a civil war in Bangladesh, with reports suggesting this protest was hijacked by Islamic forces in a country, as well as include a foreign hand. Some suggested the hand of China, some suggested even the hand of an American CIA to topple a nationalist government and even counter India in the Indo-Pacific. However, most reports have suggested the role of Pakistan's intelligence agency ISI using extremist organizations like Jamaat-e-Islami to fuel the unrest in Bangladesh with the help of Chinese money. Reportedly, the draft of Operation Regime Change was made in London in collaboration with Pakistan's ISI. Bangladeshi intelligence officials claim they have evidence of meetings between Bangladesh Nationalist Party or the opposition party acting chairperson Tariq Rahman and ISI officials meeting in Saudi Arabia. In fact, Bangladeshi officials themselves claim that former Premier Khalida Zia's son Tariq Rahman met Pakistani ISI himself. Now, as Pakistani army wishes to see BNP in power and increase Islamabad's influence in the country, that fought and gained its influence from Pakistan in 1971. Now, this issue was also discussed in the all-party meeting in New Delhi, where leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, also raised the question of a possible Pakistani hand in Bangladesh. However, the fact remains that political upheavals and coup are not unusual in Bangladesh. There have been countless coups in Dhaka, with one faction of the army or some other military ruler seizing power for a few years. In fact, Sheikh Hasina's entire family had been murdered in such a coup back in 1975. Some Pakistani leaders even celebrated Prime Minister Hasina's ouster, calling her an obstacle. Of course, Pakistan itself is familiar with a number of coups. But Hasina's departure will have a larger impact that extends beyond Bangladesh, with her son claiming that she has vowed never to return to the country, which now might suffer the same fate as economically bankrupt Pakistan. There have been reports of lakhs of Hindu refugees who could be forced to flee Bangladesh as extremists grab more power and intensify their attacks. Now, such mobs have been pictured unleashed on Hindu homes, burning them to the ground and abducting women in a horrific descent to anarchy. The situation is grim in Dhaka and surrounding regions, as Hindu minorities are living in a constant state of fear as they witness Bangladesh becoming, quote, Pakistan for Hindus. Raising concern over the state of minorities in Bangladesh, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar said that India is constantly monitoring the situation and, quote, there are various reports of initiatives taken by various groups and organizations to ensure their protection and well-being. We welcome that, but we will naturally remain deeply concerned till law and order is visibly restored, unquote. India considers Bangladesh a key nation, crucial to connect its geographically isolated northeastern states with the Bay of Bengal. In Hasina's absence, the rise of extremist Jamaat-e-Islami in Bangladesh can pose a major challenge for India's security forces. The potential security challenges prompted India's border security force to tighten its noose and issue a heightened alert at the international border to avoid any infiltration. Meanwhile, there is bound to be impact on India-Bangladesh ties as well, including India-backed development projects, discussion of a free trade deal, and booming bilateral trade, which reached $13 billion in 2023-24. Have your say. Should India also exert greater influence in its neighboring countries to ensure stability returns in South Asia? Leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.